Greetings, everyone. Nathan Nerdarchy here from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with some nerds.
Nerdarchist Ted, and kind of off-screen is Nerdarchist Dave. Hey, folks. We are dealing with some computer issues that are bigger than last week's issues, so we don't know where we're actually getting to at the moment.
It's like a digital version of one of those machines that has so many parts to it you don't know if it actually does anything, really, but stuff's happening. So we'll have to just wait and see if everything works out all right. So one of the things we need to check is whether or not we're actually over on Facebook.
No, you're on. You guys are streaming.
YouTube.
We're streaming to restream.
So we have to see whether we're hitting YouTube or not. We have to know. Like,
no feed on YouTube, we hear.
All right. You are. There is a feed on Facebook right now, and we are most likely on Twitch as well.
Twitch doesn't seem to ever give us a problem. Well then, in that case, do we have stuff kind of planned for what's going to be going on for this upcoming month?
Well, you know, right now or today we're going to be talking about this this next giveaway that we got going on. We got some stuff to show off that came in from Easy Roller Dice.
Oh, nice! Yeah, I'm interested.
We have my game tonight, session 30 something or other for Curse of Narcitus, and some very cool things potentially planned with that session. So I'm kind of on the fence of, I haven't finished writing tonight's adventure yet. So yeah.
Well, I hope you finish a little more of it so that we don't end up fighting something terrible like 2 pit fiends or something.
Oh, come on!
On the suggestion of a particular combat-loving dwarf. Or no Krakens. No Krakens this time either.
Oh, but Krakens were so much fun. They made you, give up your treasure.
Well, thankfully I didn't have to give that up. That was all right. So I'm definitely interested in the Easy Roller Dice stuff, and I don't even know what we're giving away, so it's a surprise even to me.
Yep, you weren't here for the conversation.
That's true.
Dave and I figured it out. So that's that. I know we have a ton of gaming coming up later this month. I actually have 4 games in 4 days that I'll be in, and it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's 3 different games, like 3 different game sets, like rule systems that I'll be doing back to back. So that's gonna be pretty interesting.
3 different ones.
Well, Friday night,
I like to stick with just 5e for the most part.
Well, 23rd through the 25th is 23rd, 24th, to the 26th is going to be that weekend of gaming for me. Friday night is going to be the RPG crate game. This one's actually bumped up to 7th level, so it's interesting to see what the party dynamic is going to wind up doing with that many levels to play with. Saturday is going to be Dave's 5e game, but then Sunday we've got a Dungeon World game that I'm in. That night is also Dave's fan game that will wind up happening, but I'm not a part of that. And then Monday will be the first the first episode of the new Saber Dice game.
Oh man!
Yeah, so that's
a jam-packed week of games.
So that's going to be with Numenera.
Oh, cool! I'm interested in seeing that. I haven't seen Numenera be played, but just looking at the monster book, I'm like, and I played a little bit of Torment, Tides of Numenera, and I was very interested in learning more about that world.
Yeah, the game's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm still have to finalize my character. I've got all the decisions made. It's just compiling it all onto a character sheet and getting that figured out. Kind of have to do the same thing for my Dungeon World character, so I gotta hop to it.
Getting some discussion in the chat about some things being wonky and they need a time machine to view it. That's an interesting piece there. And this week I started my show 9 to 11. Sunday, Thursday, and Friday, hanging out with my co-host Kanata, and we're doing basically Kanata. Yeah, I always mess it up. Sorry, Kanata. And we've been doing things like world building. We did Monster Mash on Thursday, and then we did a discussion on science and magic, which ended up being psionics, science and magic, and regulations and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that would like probably happen in the world with magic.
I watched a large portion of your monster mashup with your octopus seal, or what it was
the
called?
cuddle seal.
The cuddle seal, not cuddles with D's, cuddles with T's.
Yes.
So that was pretty interesting. I liked the artwork that you guys had on that. Where did that come from?
That came from one of the users. He's, I think, the Xanathar on Discord. Okay. I know his other name, but I don't know if he's the Muddy Hobbs on YouTube or not. So he just whipped that up while it was going on or right after, and then sent it over to us.
So part of me would really want to kind of go a little bit more octopoid and have the longer tentacles off the face to really give it that grapple that you were talking about having. Yeah. Because with the small tentacles, I didn't see it really being able to hold much in the way of a grapple.
Well, it doesn't. It's like an octopus doesn't hold much, like an octopus, not a giant one, but just a regular octopus is basically just latches onto you, and that's kind of. I see what you mean. Like an octopus would have slightly longer tendrils.
Right. These things were. Yeah. Didn't look like they.
It's more of like a latch onto your arm or a leg and bite kind of thing.
But so I like.
It's not going to be picking up around the middle, and
I liked the development of it, and I watched it after the fact, not as you guys were doing it. Mm-hmm. So there was a comment about the Yeti displacer. Is that was the next monster that you made?
Yeah. We ended up being called the Blizzard Beast, and it's more of like almost elemental. This kind of fur-covered, icy creature with these long tendrils that come out. So we gave it basically a whole bunch of tentacle attacks, and we gave it some of the other abominable Yeti powers that had to deal with cold. And then we gave it a little bit, added some things to it because we were like, oh, let's have it have layer abilities and other things. And so it's kind of like bad storms come, and then this thing shows up.
So now is this like going to be an ongoing occurrence?
Yeah. So this Sunday, pretty much every Sunday that we don't have the Patreon reward meeting. And,
the 9 of the 9.
The 9 of the 9 hangout. We'll be doing that. And technically, I guess we could do both of them because 8 to 9 would be, I think, 8 o'clock in the 9 of the 9. So I don't usually start till 9 anyway, so it would just be like, technically, just piggyback onto that. We're going to world build this thing. This weekend we're doing the Chaos Waste to the ancient Thrycreen Empire.
Oh, nice.
So I can kind of flesh that out where the Psionics is in North Ganya. And then I don't know where we'll go to from there, but probably what ends up happening is people don't get enough of that concept in the world building, so they move their monsters that they want to have to Thursday and then talk about it there is what's happened so far.
So then Thursday is your monster building? Mm-hmm. And is it always going to be, a monster mashup, or, could it be let me create something new?
Well, yeah, I could do it that way, but I like the challenge of taking 2 monsters out of the collection of 5th edition works and kind of seeing what kind of thing it would create once you start combining abilities together. So we usually start off with one, but then we go into viewer suggestions and things.
So then what is the plan to do with the monster mashups?
It's spring flooring season, so call or click now.
Is that something that will eventually appear as a Patreon reward?
I don't know. Right now, I'm just collecting the information.
Okay, all right,
we'll have to see what is. Yeah, it's getting collected because we in process. I'm moving the things around.
I have to say, I really like the format that you guys are having for that. Is that, I'm guessing that's green screened, or
yeah.
It's really really cool. You've got your 2 faces and then the screen behind with all the different stat information and what have you. So I thought that was a cool way to do it.
Yeah, Canada helped me out with that and kind of gave me all the tech info I needed to do that. And I just bought a whole bunch of it. Anybody wants a green screen, you just can buy the poster board that's basically neon green or a bright green. It's like $10 a green screen, and I've got a green screen in the background, so it worked out.
So are we on YouTube now?
Oh yeah, we were on YouTube. We were just on a different page. That's the thing that I said was going to be a problem, and it was.
it just happened to do exactly that. Got it.
Yeah.
So apologies for all the hiccups and all the issues and what have you.
Fave wants to know about the quality of Hero Forge from me, and then he realized he was talking to the wrong person.
I'm a huge fan of Hero Forge. I've got a bunch of them. There's, in fact, like almost half a dozen up above Dave's head on the shelf there. I've made at least 3 or 4 characters that I've printed out that are my PCs. And I just got a shipment in the mail with like 6 new characters for my game tonight that Arcania Workshop printed for me. So super excited to put them on the field tonight.
So it's just so for you folks know, we weren't planning on the restreaming this to all the different places yet because we haven't tested it from Ted's place, and he wasn't sure about the internet and stuff. So YouTube made a change where you have to use an encoder, and we found that out as we were going live, pretty much. And for you tech heads at home following along, I am running. We jailbreak our camera with a program called SparkoCam, and I was just going to run that to our encoder, but it looked horrible, worse than it looks now, to be honest with you. And then so I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I am now running SparkoCam to Zoom and Zoom to to the encoder. That's why there's probably like a huge delay. So sorry about that. We'll get it squared away for next week. Did you see Colville's Kickstarter blow up? God, almost $750,000. He could bust some records, guys. He could bust some records. I think we tentatively have him scheduled to come on. I have to look. Me and him have been talking back and forth on Twitter, and I'm sure he is so freaking busy with managing his Kickstarter right now, and it is like crazy what it's doing. But
Keenan says I can fix this.
You can fix this. All right, fix it right now.
Fly to Jersey.
Yeah, fly to Jersey. Come fix it. Come into Ted's basement. Ben's at, where the fuck is Dave? Yeah. He's here somewheres. We have him buried. Question from Kyle. How would you run festival games? My next session is going to maybe be no combat, and I want to do dice rolling, so I have festival. Actually, that's a great idea, so that you're gonna kind of like make up skill challenges and rules for that.
Invite the Gabalos.
Maybe they could perform. So yeah, I guess I like using skills, and I hate the pass or fail. I rather have a gradated system, and I think for festivals and games that way it works so much better than just on the pass or fail. Especially and then there's going to be certain things like archery where you can just give different parts of the target's armor class and work from there.
Yeah, like 5, 10, 15, 20 or something.
And even that's still graduated, because that's kind of nice, because if they're shooting for the bullseye and say you decide that's an armor class 20, but they hit an armor class 18, well, that's close. Yeah, so you can kind of do it like that. So you would have to come up with, well, what is the bullseye? What is just hitting the target? And then kind of like come up with them from there. Remote access don't need to be there to fix everything.
Oh, are we flipped around? Is that what they're saying?
Are we reversed? I don't know.
Yeah, look at that. Nerdarchy's backwards, isn't it?
It's mirrored.
Okay.
But we're in the same spots.
Interesting.
How is that possible?
That it just mirrored that. And
no. It's because you would technically always be on that side.
For them.
For them.
Yeah.
For the viewer.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're in the right spots when we're looking at it, but
all right. Well,
it's like the episode of Mirror Mirror for Star Trek.
Mirror, mirror, mirror,
mirror.
So, we will persevere.
Guess mirror image. All right, so let's stop confusing people.
It just looks like you guys switched chairs. That's all.
But it looks like the way how we actually sit, though.
Yeah. You're getting a peek into what the world actually looks like over here.
Behind the scene. Kyle's greased pig catching, pole vaulting, archery contest,
drink contest, tightrope.
Oh, greased pig catching. That's an athletics check. Easy. With disadvantage. Because the pigs are greased.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's you versus the pig.
So I think a lot of that kind of stuff is going to wind up being acrobatics, athletics. Like it would take something interesting to go off of those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or just a straight up attack roll for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Elfbait, mirror, Nerdarchy would be clean shaven and no scars.
Yeah, I haven't seen what clean shaven Ted looks like in a very long time. So, yeah, not gonna happen.
Paul Jamal, do you have to grapple? You would absolutely have to grapple the pig, and the pig could use its dex or strength to get away, depending on what was better for the pig.
Absolutely.
And so it's going to be opposed roll against your roll with disadvantage.
It's a black goatee. Robert Hobbs, no mirror, just versus a black goatee.
Ugh. So we're actually next month we're actually doing a pretty big giveaway, right? We're like, we got a bunch of stuff here. Let's clear some stuff out. I guess let's first of all, we're far enough along where let's just show us. Easy Roller Dice was nice enough to send us some more stuff, so we're going to just show you what they sent us.
All right, so voila.
And let's see. So we got some more of their dice trays, but these are the new ones.
The new and improved dice trays.
So it's got that. I don't know if you can see how well you can see that, but you got that cool wolf head engraved upon the front of it. I mean, I guess as especially maybe you can get your wife's head on there. I don't know. And
they're a double-lined dice tray.
Yeah.
So you've got the interior and the outer. And they come with a lid, so you could, if you're going to travel with your dice tray, you really have the ability to put your dice in the tray, put the lid on it, throw it in the gaming bag, and you're going.
That one's nice.
And then this one is like we have a Celtic knot with the serpent, so that's pretty badass as well.
And it's in the same design. It's got the lid and it's got the double lined interior.
And then they sent us three sets, three of the little Easy Roller Dice bags and the dice that you would put in them. And they're all the translucent. We got purple, we've got a pinky orange color, and green. And
they're the gold inside felt bags with the cool Easy Roller tag.
So with that, I guess let's just go into kind of like our giveaway for next month.
All right. Well, we're gonna grab one of these sets of dice.
You don't know which one.
Don't know which one. And we're gonna grab one of these trays, and then we're gonna toss on top of that. Whoa. Tome of Annihilation.
So grab one of those bags of dice, get rid of one of these, and boom. So that is what the giveaway will look like for next month. So what is that? It's like a $50 book, and the dice trays, I don't even know how much the dice trays go for over on Easy Roller, and dice are generally like, $5 or whatever for them. So even if you happen to be a Patreon at the $1 level, you're automatically entered for free. Or you can head over to the Nerdarchy website, and we have like contest rules and stuff where you can find a downloadable form that you're going to fill out, and you're going to mail to us physically to a P.O. box that's listed over. It's actually listed right on the form, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So that's what you have to do to be entered. Hey, but for $1, literally, you could be a Patreon for $1, get it entered automatically, and like winning one time is like years and years worth of supporting us at $1.
Absolutely. So that's the cool giveaway. We will pick that winner. We always announce this the second week of the month, and the following first week of the month is when we pull the list and pick the winner.
Yes, so get to filling out forms and mailing them to us, or get over to Patreon.
And now from our legal department.
Oh, yes. One of the things is YouTube nor Patreon are involved in this giveaway in any way whatsoever. No way whatsoever.
And if any law enforcement agencies or laws can be involved, we are not either.
Yes. And, one entry per person, whether mail-in or automatically through becoming a Patreon. So, that's it.
Bam! Elfbait just hit us with a $10 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Eli.
I didn't even say anything, but thanks. Appreciate it as always. Zono F.
Well, I'll do this. Go ahead and check out the Elfbait channel over on YouTube.
There you go. Eddie, honestly, I wish we'd start like tutorials and stuff of the sculpting that he does for minis. I don't think there's anyone else really doing that, not in the niche anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great channel.
There is a sculptor who was doing stuff on Facebook, but not he didn't want to do YouTube for whatever reason.
I don't know them. They don't exist. Dead to me. They're no Elfbait. Someone asked the question, Zono FV1, what do you think of a droid that only shapeshifts into a salmon? Well, I don't think you're going to want to go Circle of the Moon with that one, that's for sure.
Shapeshifts into what? A salmon?
Salmon.
Is this a water campaign?
It reminds me of a Loki story, to be honest with you.
What Nordic story does this remind me of?
What do I think of if it's not an aquatic game, if you're not going to be near water, and the limitation is you can only turn into a salmon, not very useful.
Yeah, but dude, you could totally smack somebody with a fish. You're gonna need to team up with your barbarian for this.
So he picks up the fish, he smacks the other guy, and then now the barbarian is holding the druid.
Just keep beating.
Yeah, because the salmon's not going to be able to take too much damage.
I did have a character who used kobolds as weapons for an encounter.
So we need to bring up the fact that you can find a link in the description to Concoction Cleveland, where Nerdarchy will be doing not one, but two panels. I don't remember what they're called, but we're doing them, and it is on their website, and you can find it, as well as we're each going to be running a game. And the night before Concoction, that Thursday, we are going to be doing a meetup, a hangout. There will be food, fellowship, and gaming for sure. We haven't nailed down the location, but it's going to be very close to there. In the description of this video, you can find the link to that. There's a short survey, so this way we can kind of get a gauge how many people are going to show up, and just fill that out, and also so we can contact you guys and let you know what's going on.
I will also throw out there, as always, the links and stuff are down below. The link to today's article on nerdarchy.com did not make it onto the sheet because there just wasn't enough room in the links below. So if you want to help out and support the authors over there, please make sure you go and check out those cool articles.
We're going to have a week in review webpage that's just that.
Well, we only have so much space that we can put in that description, and we do a lot of stuff, and we had. And
when we add stuff, it gets worse.
So adding the convention appearances, your new videos with Kineda, a lot of stuff going on. So
yeah, the description spot fills up quick.
Will you be making a video for the people who won't make it? Are you saying, are we going to stream the concoction thing, or I don't understand the won't make what?
So we will have our gear with us. We always take our gear. We don't always pull it out though. Sometimes you whip out your gear, and sometimes you don't whip out your gear. And when we get there, we'll probably kind of make that decision, like how accessible things are, like electricity and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do with it. When we get there and kind of see the setup, then we'll start probably making some decisions. I can only imagine that we're going to probably do some videos to some extent. It also depends on who the other guests are at the con and who shows up. If we run into somebody really cool, we'd be like, hey, why don't you come over here and we'll shoot this video. So anything is possible.
So we got a question from Baggy Norbert. What would you use for a gourmand bard cooking with the gourmand feat? Oh, glamour bard cooking with a gourmand feat and expertise in cooking utensils.
What about it?
What would you use as a weapon?
Freaking frying pan. What else would you use as a weapon?
A club in the shape of a big spoon.
I would use cooking gear as a weapon.
A meat tenderizer. Just like a big one.
So a warhammer that's shaped like a meat tenderizer.
Yeah, it's for like dinosaur steaks.
I don't know where the Glamour Bard gets, a Warhammer. Everybody gets a club.
Everyone does. Take
Then-
Tavern Brawler and everything's a weapon.
There you go.
Elf Base says Cleaver. I like bludgeoning cooking utensils myself. And, nothing makes the nice sound of a frying pan hitting someone's skull. Dual wield cleaver and meat tenderizer. Well, it could be a light hammer. I think you could go light hammer with the meat tenderizer.
You could definitely throw those. They're not very heavy. They're compact too.
So Kyle Ellis says rolling pin, but I don't think rolling pin's really gonna, work out too well.
I don't know. Let me hit you on one. We'll find out. We'll test it.
They would definitely hurt.
Yeah, I think the rolling pin will work too.
Yeah. So we got any questions out there?
No, time for us to go home.
All right. See you later, guys. Stay nerdy.
Adios.
So I saw a cool post on Facebook the other day from Rob. I forget his last name. I know when I say it, I'm just gonna butcher it if I say it. But he was our last winner.
Hunsicker?
Yeah, that's it. And he was showing off the goods.
Oh, cool.
And gave us a thank you, which is it's so cool. Like, we like giving away this stuff anyway, but when it's a name that I actually recognize, it's so much better.
And personally, I like seeing the stuff being shown off because number one, that shows to everybody that
we really do give it away.
We really do give it away, and it's not just like us blowing smoke.
Allegedly, they allegedly do a giveaway.
We're giving away all this stuff.
Zerv Gaming. So, I'm making a boss monster for a bunch of level 2s. So what would I do for his hit points, AC, abilities, etc.? P.S. It's a Reaper Executioner type creature.
I would just find a monster that's appropriate for level 2s and
reskin it.
I wonder what the hook horror is at that. Is that
they're
too
like
much?
they're like a CR 2 or 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're
so
still kind of sissy. So wait, if you had like a hook horror and then some minions.
I wouldn't be
It's
so
a
bad.
bunch of level 2s, he said. A hook horror would probably shred one of them.
Well, you gotta knock. What is it? You always say you gotta knock some people down in combat.
Yeah, sometimes, man, you just gotta let them know. You just gotta let them know you mean business.
Yeah, I mean, my first level party survived a Nothic, no problem. Well, they survived. They made it. They're still all
They
alive.
made it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Question: will you be doing many, if any, videos on non-D&D role-playing systems? We've been known to like dive into that. It generally is like kind of like, what are we playing? Most of our advice is generic anyway. Like, unless we like delve into specific game things like character builds and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of the advice we give could be used for a lot of different systems.
So the hook horror is a 3. So
Did you see how much damage it does?
it's not bad. It's got 75 hit points. I mean, it can hang around for a little while, and it's got multi attack, so you can get in there a couple of times.
Yeah, so just make it have a scythe instead of those hooks and have at it.
So it's 2 attacks, the 2d6 plus 4. So
He's giving it a flaming sword. That is 2d6 plus. If it's a great sword, it's 2 die. A long sword, not as bad. It's die 8 and 2d6. But even still, like a crit on a second level character, and you're rolling 6 dice.
gone.
And if there's a stat modifier,
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of rough.
I don't understand the educate. I really don't.
So I'm gonna say hook horror, not with flaming sword. If you want to transfer some of the damage into fire, or instead of have multi attack, have like a single attack that does the damage, and some of it's fire, some of it's not. But if you kill your party, don't blame it on me.
So, Mikhail Carter, what would you, if someone wanted to play a warlock that serves 2 patrons? My friend wanted to go Fiend and Raven Queen, with the Fiend being Orcus.
so I would just do that as a role-playing thing. and kind of flavor the character. I really feel like you can't. I feel like Warlock patrons are going to have this thing against moonlighting. Like some jobs will literally do this, but I feel like a patron for a Warlock is definitely going to be doing this. I think they'd be kind of jealous about who's working for them and where they're spending their time.
Right.
So you would need some really compelling and good story ways of doing that.
Yeah, it'd be like, is Orcus trying to steal you away from the Raven Queen? So he's offering you power, you know.
Elf bait. Orcus is a jealous SOB.
Yeah, so I don't know that would work very well. And you'd have to be really careful if you're like, oh, I want to mix and match abilities, because you don't want the players to cherry pick just the best stuff from each. So that would be kind of problematic. And we don't have an official Raven Queen. So I mean, Hexblade kind of works based off of the lore. You're going into UA at that point. Granted, like, this isn't going to be a AL legal thing anyway.
We're already talking about two different patrons, so yeah.
You know,
we're off the beaten path.
I feel like if you wanted to really kind of make this work, I would probably tell the player to pick the patron that you want as a primary patron, and then pick the pack boon that you feel like is going to embody that. Like, I don't know, Raven Queen, Book of Shadows, and, Fiend as your pact.
Right.
Like, a lot of times I feel like when people are doing this, they're just trying to get over and get more abilities or cherry pick the best abilities. But I think the best way to do it is you're just going to take from your patron abilities and your pack boons, and you're just going to mix and match, and the rest is just going to be flavor and RP.
So, like, it's one thing if something is happening in the game and it comes out through role-playing, but if you're just trying to pick it because you want the extra stuff, to me, it's just no.
Now, you could say, let's say you still wanted to do this, well, everyone else is getting a magic item, XYZ magic item. You could get a magic item that is in some way linked to the Raven Queen or a token of hers, or you could still be a patron. Orcus be your patron, but then the Raven Queen's trying to either curry favor with you, or you found something that's aligned with her and it's kind of influencing you. So you can do it that way, but then it's kind of you're RPing the war of who has your interest, or who are you kind of like siding with in the end. But that could just be done through magic items as well. So if you still wanted to have kind of that mix of things.
We did a whole video on multi-classing into the same class. Yeah. I mean, the gist of it is you're not supposed to, and it doesn't really work very well. But we talk about some ideas how to switch that up. I mean, the other thing too, like, what about taking, you could also do like Magic Initiate and go Warlock again and take spells that you feel like are flavored towards one or the other. Or even from any caster and pick spells that maybe you don't get access to as a Warlock.
And you're claiming that, these are from, the
other person, yeah.
So you could flavor that with, literally any feat or ability that's going to benefit you, and you could just say that it's from the source of power, and there could be some cool stuff to be RP'd into that.
Zonoff 1 says these are the best TED Talks.
Remember, guys, question before your question so we can see them, or we may go right over it. Thanks, Justin Harris. We're quite flattered.
Yes.
Nerdarchy, you are awesome people. Going to my first 5e game today. Congrats. Dave, Nate, and Ted, and all you guys are epic. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yes, good luck with your game.
Multiple exclamation points.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Exclamation point.
4 of them.
4 blazing rapier. There's a comment about a blazing rapier, if you haven't guessed. Oh man, we didn't get lunch before this. I'm so hungry now.
Says can't find.
Yeah, everybody except me's grumbling.
Xerath Gaming says can't find the creature they were talking about earlier anywhere. Are they talking? Is he talking about us, like the hook horror? It's
in the monster manual.
It's right in the monster manual. Or you can go over to D&D Beyond.
That's true. Search. I'm not sure which one you're talking about because there's a lot of comments that came in there. Also, Elfbait he said what system. I don't know if he was talking to them or talking to us. What systems? Because we've done a few. Like I guess
currently have a phase rip game going on, so
yeah,
we play other things.
We currently have a phase rip going on. Ted's going to be playing Numenera. We got a Dungeon World coming up. So, but I mean,
Star Wars.
We played Star Wars. We actually have a bunch of videos on the different Star Wars starter sets, and there's probably a Star Wars playlist. It might have gameplays mixed in it. We've talked about Mutants and Masterminds. We've probably done at least one video on Gamma World from I guess it's the 7th edition using the 4th edition rules. Right. I know it's not really popular with a lot of people because it's not a serious game. But we enjoyed it. Maybe we could have Professor Bill on sometime. Maybe I can do like a Zoom chat with him and we could do like a Marvel phase rip discussion. And I think we've done like a couple videos on Mutants and Masterminds.
So Kyle Ellis says, sorry, but as much as I love you guys, you aren't epic. We haven't reached 20th level yet.
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, I know
This isn't my final form.
You guys did that D&D list of things that you gain levels for as a dungeon master, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm like 13th or 14th level on that.
Well, for there, Dave and I are both 20th level.
Well, there you go.
We'll totally crush it.
You can get boons now.
And it was funny is I actually had the author, AJ, he actually asked about us doing that because it went up after I had done the last RPG Crate game where I did kill them all.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I didn't kill them all. Fragonator killed himself, but they did all die.
The total party was killed.
Mike Morrison, question: did you flip around the set? Everything looks reversed. No, we're just in an alternate dimension. We got our alternate dimension selves to do the live chat today. We're all fucking off today.
It's like mirror.
As a Shadarkai, can you use Blessing of the Raven Queen mid attack? I don't know. We don't have those the final racial abilities until May.
Racial ability? Is that for the
Blessing of the Raven Queen?
Right.
I don't recall what it is.
Yeah, because isn't that a warlock thing? You said racial.
Well, isn't the Shadarkai, isn't that a race?
Oh yeah, it is.
And what we're going to be getting that race in.
I'm looking at a different.
Mordenkainen's.
I'm looking at a different question that literally has pieces of that question in it. I don't think it doesn't actually say a race here. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and again, like Ted said, I don't remember what the UA says. So we'd have to actually see it in order to decipher it. We do not have everything memorized, despite popular belief. I literally read stuff, talk about it, and then forget it half the time.
We got to pack in war, so stuff falls off the other side.
Even the illustrious Matt Mercer goes to the player's handbook mid game to verify. Yeah. So I don't feel so bad when I don't have everything completely memorized.
Yeah, they're the Shadowfell elves, aren't they? Yes, and I call bullshit on that because they were just like their own thing before, like they were their own race, and they kind of like got shunted into being elves in 3rd edition. They were just like shadow people.
Well, they're teasing a lot of information in the Mordenkainen book.
Yeah, I feel like they're giving us more information about that book
than anyone previously.
It's like eventually we're just gonna know the whole entire book, and there will be no surprises.
Well, like I don't know, I listened to
the book's done. Like it's not like they're looking for more feedback. That book is coming out in May, so it's done.
Mm-hmm.
That's being printed now.
I look at what they gave out during that podcast, and I got a whole sheet full of notes of, well, these are the races, and these are some of the monsters, and these are the wars that they're talking about.
And then if you look at like they're doing even more like smaller videos on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I saw talking about the Blood War.
Yeah, there's been at least 2 of them. One was the Blood War. The other one, I don't remember what the other one was.
That one either. That's why I mentioned the Blood War.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
So it's like so much information.
So excuse me, we're gonna talk about that in one of the videos for next week. It still has to be filmed. My notes are over there. But yeah, so
The question: want to build a Goliath Necromancer? What is a scythe attack damage? I don't think we don't have one, do we? You'd have to make it up. I would just make it like a longsword.
So a scythe isn't really good as using as a weapon. Shad Adversity did a whole talk on scythe and weapons and stuff like that. But if you made a weapon like a scythe for the purposes of killing people, then I would think it would be like a D6 or, well, it's a two-handed weapon, so like, D8 sounds appropriate.
I mean, typically most of the two-handed weapons are in that D10, D12, 2D6 category.
Well, yeah, you've got like a staff is gonna. So if it does like kind of similar damage to a staff, I would think that would be okay.
Yeah, because like you said, it's not actually made to be a weapon.
Yeah.
Like the slicing edge isn't, you're going to do the most damage with a point.
Yeah.
And it's not really designed to be kind of wielded that way.
At that point, it's like a two-handed pick.
Yes. Well, I guess that's the other thing. Look at War Pick and see what they have in there for that. But it all depends on what you're trying to do.
I'm going to agree with Kineda. Says I'm in the pole arm camp. That's where I think you could go with it.
I think that's too strong.
I mean, you're talking D10.
Yeah. Well, I guess also who could use it, because I guess at that point it's a military weapon and not a farm implement.
Right.
So as long as you don't use the argument, it's a farm implement. So even my doofy wizard who doesn't have any combat skills can use it. Then you got to follow like the staff rule or something if you want to use it.
So Kyle says, hand sickle is a D6, so war scythe could be D8.
That works,
So it depends upon what proficiency modifier you're going to call it is. If you want it to be a common weapon and anybody can use it, then D6, D8 I got no problem with. If you want it to be a military weapon, therefore you need the higher proficiency for it, I'd give it the higher damage.
And I will add the caveat: if you're trying to use us as an argument for your DM, it's whatever your DM says.
Yes.
We'll have no. You can't run to Dad because Mom said no.
Kids. Polearm Master Feat for the win.
Yeah. So if it's like war scythe for a fighter, I could go for like the higher damage polearm stuff. But if it's scythe for like a wizard, well, it's necromancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that should fall into like as much as the staff does for damage.
A die 8, but it's going to be slashing or piercing damage.
Yeah, slashing
instead.
or piercing. Yeah.
And also too, like I've seen it different ways, right? Where it's literally on a straight staff, and it's almost like you would wield it like it was a staff or something. And then then there is, this is the farming implement. It's got the handle. It's and it's got it's kind of a crooked piece of wood. It's not straight. So that would be the difference. Is this thing been forged and tempered to be used as a weapon of war, martial weapon, or is it literally like you guys said? This is the farming implement. Someone took it off the farm, sharpened the blade. I'm going to be attacking with this simple weapon, less damage.
Agreed.
So, Yuldrum, what would you guys think of a character using a quarterstaff as a focus?
I'm pretty sure I've seen the Wizards team say using your staff as your focus is fine.
So there you go.
Staff is a focus that you can use. Staff is a thing you can hit people with. And technically, it might even be one of the things that doesn't even have a cost. I don't remember for this edition or not. In that case, absolutely. Just the main difference is you're going to have to pay the spell focus cost. So it's going to be an expensive weapon, but you get the versatility.
And you can cry hard when it gets broken by somebody.
Yeah, or even if they both have a cost, I might be like, sure, you can use it. You just got to add the cost of both things together.
Yeah, because you don't want them to skimp out on the cost of what a focus is.
Yeah. Or, that's for sure. And if the DMG has, or not the GM, PHB has a price for a quarterstaff, then like I said, I just add those two together.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Wooderman just use a glaive and just picture as whatever. Yeah, that works great for your necromancer that doesn't have proficiency. But you can always attack without proficiency. It's not required.
Yeah, and it's not that big a deal at low levels.
Can't anything be a focus like your lucky tankard? Not by raw. If I was the GM, I would, and especially if your lucky focus costs 25 gold or 10 gold or whatever, whatever it is. Yeah, I think the idea that the focus has stuff done to it. It's got arcane sigils and runes. I mean, you're replacing the component pouch with it, so there's got to be something to it.
So Brenda Bishop says, I played 3.5, and everyone I play with refuses to play a newer edition because they say that the later ones are really bad. Which is the major difference between 3.5 and 5? I think it's less crunchy and worked out. Like 3.5 is really a character build system that you can also RP in. You know what I mean? Like,
so oddly enough, we had Skip Williams on one of our live chats yesterday, or was it? It was the day before yesterday, Thursday. So one of the things that he said, and if you don't know who Skip Williams is, he's kind of the guy that wrote that system. One of them. And one of the things he said, when they decided to do 3rd edition, they were responding to what the community wanted. They were always being asked these questions. Why isn't this covered? Why isn't that covered? So they set out to create a system that would cover all of those questions. And it does. And it also gave you way more customization on your character and a lot more choices you could make. So when you're using that system, you would compile all these microtransactions to build up the character that you wanted via skills and feats and classes and prestige classes and races and all that stuff. 5e is a lot more simpler in the sense that instead of making a bunch of tiny decisions, you make big decisions at key points. So you take your class, and instead of multi-classing, which you could still do, you're just going to pick a subclass, which is going to kind of define that character's role. And the same thing with your races, they have subclasses or sub-races, which are going to be big blocky choices. If you take a feat instead of a stat bump, you generally get a couple abilities, not just one small ability. So I define 5e as being this system that's very modular with these big blocks that you kind of get to move around. Where a system like Pathfinder or 3rd edition is you have lots of tiny Legos that you get to put together in any combination that you want.
So I think 5e is designed as a little bit more balanced.
I couldn't find the reminder you're looking for.
That's funny.
So it's far more balanced. There's less decisions to be made, and as the DM, you're open to more options because 3rd edition really was that there's a rule for everything. And it really brought forth the concept of the rules lawyer, and there's an answer for that, and we're gonna go find these books. And 5th edition kind of went in the opposite direction, where we're gonna leave things ambiguous on purpose, and we'll let the DM abdicate that.
I like the more ambiguous.
I agree.
Someone asked if we would allow a mystic in our game. Oh, Underwood Sketches. Hey, how many of you would allow a mystic in your game? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck. Oh no, Nate is breaking everything. All this stuff.
Just a dragon wing.
Oh my god.
It goes back on. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure it out.
You will never figure it out.
So yeah, I mean,
I just figured it out.
Unearthed Arcana stuff. I completely let into my games, and if something becomes raw later, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and change it over to whatever is official. If it's not, well, then we'll just stick with the Unearthed Arcana until the game's over.
What if your player doesn't like what's official and they cry a lot because the Mystic is still kind of broken?
If they cry a lot because the thing has changed, well, do you want to change characters? We're playing a game here. This is what's official. We use what's official.
even if it's unofficial, official.
Oh, that's funny. I don't have Siri. I don't have an Apple product.
Nate the Destroyer.
Yeah, CR50. I like that. I like that setting.
Well, according to him, you are definitely epic level. True-mate, dragon down. We got a dragon down.
Yes, well, CR system's more art than science, I'd say, when it comes down to stuff.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, we got into a little bit of a heated debate this Thursday when we were making monsters about like what constituted a 9 compared to an 8 compared to a 7. So it's like, come on. In the end, I didn't want to say it doesn't really matter, but really, in the end, it doesn't really matter. As a player, yes, because I want all the XP I could possibly get out of killing a monster. But as a DM, like, yeah.
As a player, does it really matter? Like, have you played in a single game where you've gotten XP?
Yes, actually. I'm playing in a Minds of Pandelver game, and we're doing actual XP rewards.
Ew.
and I kind of do it for my my pay-to-play Holds the Mordenkainen campaign, which I'm playing next week.
Right, but you weren't the player. You gave out.
Yeah, I'm giving out XP. Well, no, in the Minds game, I am the player.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
kind of exciting. I like it because you don't know. It's like, am I going to get enough to gain another level?
In the one game of Adventure League that I played, I got XP. That's it.
Didn't it feel nice?
No.
Because you didn't gain a level.
Because I didn't gain a level.
Oh. What did you start out as? First?
Yeah.
And you didn't gain a level?
I played one session.
Who are you, making dungeons and doilies? What was going on? There's so much stuff. Every module I've seen in 5th edition, there's so much stuff to kill. It's like impossible not to gain a level.
You're like just accidentally gaining levels.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like 3rd level already in the Minds game. And I didn't even try.
So long shot, welcome. He's apologizing for just getting here.
That's okay. You made it before the end. 5 minutes before the end, but you made it.
Favored non-standard dragon?
Amethyst. It hawks a loogie.
A lozenge. I like the crystal dragons, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm with Dave.
Well, like, isn't that the only thing that's out there? Is the 5 gem dragons?
Well, I mean, you could go. I like Oriental dragons.
Okay.
Or,
if we're gonna
shadow dragons.
If we're gonna go that direction, then I like from Tome of Beasts. I like the void dragon.
There was also the deep dragon. Remember the purple shape-shifting drow dragon thing?
Oh yeah,
which was kind of cool. Like, so there is definitely some options.
Yeah, void from Tome of Beasts. That's the cool space dragon. I like that one.
Yeah, I may or may not have turned that into radiation
dragon.
You did.
Gem dragons, I think, are old school. They're not in the new stuff yet.
But if you go over to Matt Colville's Kickstarter for $350, you can get all 5 of his gem dragons.
Who?
The minis. Yeah, minis for them.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know he had minis in the
Kickstarter.
In the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's upper tiers.
Oh, okay.
It's probably over $1 million by now.
Wow.
Okay,
I was like, wow, almost $1 million on books. I didn't even know the Kickstarter.
Oh no, it's for Strongholds and Streaming. So the concept is you get the book, you have the option of up to the 5 dragons that you can also get, and then
there's a T-shirt, a PDF. You can get the book in the special edition cover. It's hand signed by Matt Colville himself.
And then the idea is also he wants to then run a stream game with high production value, and they need to rent a studio for that. So whatever's left over will go towards funding their stream.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
So it's kind of like combined the two things. So they're well on their way to having their stream game, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so. Kyle says there's some DM Guild stuff with gem dragons in it.
Yeah, there is a book. I was also going to say that. I got sidetracked by Strongholds and Streaming. Oh, Mercury Dragon's another one. And if you go to the earlier editions, there was tons of different dragons that were the non-standard dragons.
Yeah, I wonder if I have any extra monster manuals lying around with.
Yeah, just open one of the ones that aren't the first one. In Strahd, you're swarmed by random encounters every 30 minutes. It sounds about right. That's how you should do it. So, Shiraxon... This is a mouthful. Shurzillan, Ciliofic. I have a Kenku paladin who wears a holy symbol as a necklace. Does he need to hold it to cast spells, or can he wear it and cast them? No, you have to present it. But the fun thing about paladins and clerics, they can emblazon it upon their shield and present it that way. And that's by raw. So they actually get a nice workaround.
But you lose your shield someplace, you're down a holy symbol, so you should have a backup.
Absolutely.
Destin Hope, Pathfinder goblins or 5e goblins?
What is it?
5e.
What is the question?
Pathfinder or 5e goblins?
5e goblins.
I like them both.
I do. I actually like the Pathfinder goblins a little better. Literally, our goblin is kind of based off of the Pathfinder one, more or less.
Yeah, I like them both. I mean, there's nothing to say you couldn't have both in your world.
Impossible.
I don't know, Ted.
If you can have 17 different breeds of elves in the world, why can't you have goblins that have round heads and goblins that have football heads?
I guess. I like how you define them. Round and football. Softball or football? You're welcome. We like answering questions.
So I don't know what monster codex James is talking about.
Ted has, I think, almost all of the old monsters.
I've played since 2nd edition, and I've always had a fondness for monster manuals, so I tend to get everything.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You can do American football or the rest of the world football. Good call.
That's a way to do it.
American football head. That was just kind of a little too much to say, though.
But rest of the world football head isn't.
So you could say round, or you could say rugby.
Everybody soccer?
Football or soccer?
Yeah. That's not confusing at all.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
What are your thoughts on making a dragon albino?
It's called a white dragon. But no, it's whatever you want. It's your game. I mean, it's just the way the dragon looks. I mean, it might be confusing to your players, or like, oh, look, it's one of the weakest of dragons. It's a white dragon. Thank God. And then the fire comes. What?
So Zareth says, he's got this long-winded conversations going, so I can't find it. I'll just have them fight the Tarask.
Yeah, I don't know. What are they looking for?
I don't know. There's been conversations with the Hokar and the Aesir and what have you. I haven't followed all of it, but I just figured I'd throw that out there because it's funny.
Didn't Zareth Gaming, you won a D&D Beyond from us, didn't it? Didn't you? You can just like go in there and search, and there's like cool ways to make up new monsters in there through their homebrew rules. You can like import a different monster over and use its abilities, and that's even the last time I looked at it. It's probably even better now. They keep updating things and making it better.
Crazy stuff over there. Yep.
So, yeah, so you have no excuse. You just go homebrew stuff. Don't ask us. You should actually homebrew it and then show us. We should be asking you.
Nice.
Kylos, all my dragons have different dinosaur heads. Yellow is my favorite since they are my Triceratops dragons. I don't think I like dinosaur heads on dragons. I think I like dragon heads on dragons.
But isn't a dragon head really like a dinosaur head?
Yeah, but I'm envisioning like a direct lift. And I don't think that's as cool as the dragon heads. I like them on dinosaurs.
Or do you mean something that's got like a dragon face, but it's got the frill crest with the horns coming out? And because a horn-headed dragon.
Zareth cool. Gaming, no name calling. Settle down. Is the stream out of sync, mirrored, and low res for anyone else? Yes, probably everyone else. The YouTube made a change last week at some time, and we did not realize how it was going to affect us streaming, so we've had to change how we normally do it. We have we have the stream up in like several different windows to get it to YouTube, and all the other windows it looks really great. Take my word for it.
Might have to go back to the webcam for doing our Saturday live stream.
We just gotta figure it out.
All right, so did we cover all the things that we had to cover?
Well, we told them about the giveaway.
Yeah, well, we told them about the giveaway, which, again, guys, sign up for Patreon before the 1st, or, mail us one of the slips that are over on our website, and there's a whole, in the menu, there's a category for contests. You can get all the information there.
While you're over there, you can check out our awesome store.
You can check out the awesome store over there. We've been working on that. That's been doing things. We've been selling 3D printed models as well as some digital products, and as always, there's also the merchandise over there as well.
So you want a Nerdarchy T-shirt or hat or what have you?
I
don't know why Dave is really interested in getting.
We haven't sold one yet, and I think he wants to.
We need yes. My wife wears one. But that doesn't count as a sale. I think that cost me money. It didn't make me money. It did the opposite of make me money.
As Dave likes to share.
What else do we got going on? So the concoction in Cleveland's going on. Mage Knight's going to be there. He's like one of my favorite cosplayers.
Very cool.
He's one of the few like really, really good male cosplayers. Like his stuff is like amazing. I guess there's just not as many male cosplayers.
I see this stuff all the time on Instagram, so it's.
Yeah, I was looking yesterday. I was looking at his Dark Hawk, which was pretty tight.
It was.
He's got the metallic wing, rocking the metallic wings, and he builds the stuff like super cheap and super fast. He should be doing tutorials.
He should.
He always does he does like day 1, day 2, or like how many days it takes him to complete it, and he shows the progress. So it's kind of cool. So we've been I've chatted with him online for a few years now, so it'd be cool to kind of get a chance to meet him. He also does a lot of stuff for charity, so that's kind of cool. But that being said, we're also going to be doing a fan meetup the night before Concoction at a place to be determined. It's going to be close to Concoction, so if you're like, where's it going to be at? Just know that it's going to be close to there. We don't want to make it too hard for people that are going to the con. We have a Google survey in the description. Fill that out so that we get your contact information. And we have some other questions that kind of help us plan these things in the future and get better at it. So if you fill that out, that would be great. If we can get a head count, even better. So, so we got that going on. And the meetup is going to be us gaming with a place that either has food or we're going to bring food there.
Or a combination thereof.
Shenanigans. And shenanigans will ensue.
We'll play some games and have some fun and hang out and talk and what have you. We'll try and see if we can top the 26 people that we saw at in California.
I think that adds people every time he says it.
Of course. You gotta keep.
Before it'll be like, see if we can top the 26,000 people that showed up. They were lined up out the doors to the store.
It was 24.
25 tomorrow.
But yeah, definitely check it out and fill out the survey if you want to hang out with us. That'll make things a lot easier. And of course, we're going to play some games, eat some food. If it's a place that has booze, there'll be some drinking going on. If you bring your books and you want us to deface them, we've been known to do that as well. So it should be a good time.
Absolutely.
So what I'm thinking.
SnyderFam5, thanks you for the $2 super chat.
Oh, cool. Sweet. So, with that, we still have some more videos to shoot, and I need to get some lunch before I start gnawing on this table.
Freaking all the table than one of us.
Who said I may not stop at the table. But with that, guys, until next time,
stay nerdy.